I did a video on a common braking mistake that I called leaving a brake on the table. Now in this video, I'm going to talk about another emergency braking mistake that I see, which is grabbing or stabbing the front brake lever when emergency braking. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you my opinion on why we grab the front brake lever, and I'm going to share an experience that happened to me. So hang tight. Hey guys, I'm Paul the Motor Guy, and welcome to my channel, where I pass on riding tips, practice drills, and defensive riding strategies. Now, I'm a rider coach, a motorcycle sergeant, and owner and instructor at ProRider Central Texas, where we teach police riding skills to civilian riders. Now, if you're interested in supporting my channel, you can do so by hitting that join button below. Now, if you join the Elite or the VIP membership, you will be able to send me your practice videos where I will review them and give you constructive feedback on how you can improve. Now, we have all seen those YouTube videos where riders grab the front brake lever when emergency braking to avoid colliding with a vehicle or an object. Now, what all those videos have in common is that they usually end in a crash. Grabbing the front brake lever is when riders go from 0 straight to 100% when applying the front brakes, which looks like this. So what happens when you grab the front brake lever? Well, first, let's talk about two things that happens if your bike does not have ABS. The first thing is that you risk the chance of locking up the front wheel, causing the front wheel to turn, which will end up in a low side crash. Now, the second thing, if you're lucky enough not to crash, is that you will increase your stopping distance, which means that the rider will usually end up hitting what they were trying to avoid. This is because by grabbing or stabbing the front brake lever, you don't allow weight transfer to the front wheel, which makes for a longer stop. Now, if your bike has ABS and you grab the front brake lever and you activate the ABS, it will prevent you from crashing because it will adjust the braking pressure accordingly to keep the front wheel from locking up. Now, at work, we're taught threshold braking, which means maintaining maximum deceleration without locking the wheels. Now, although ABS is a good safety feature, it should not be a substitute for proper braking. So when applying the front brake, it needs to be a progressive squeeze from 0 to 100%, like in this next video. By doing this, it would allow weight transfer to the front wheel, which is crucial for making shorter stops. Now, I have done in-depth videos covering emergency braking. Now, I will leave links to the playlist in the description and up top, so be sure to go check it out after this video. So, as you can see, grabbing the front brake lever is not a good thing. So why do we do it? Well, I think we do it because it's a natural instinct. And if you think about it, it makes sense. Our brains tell us if we want to stop quickly, then the quicker we pull the front brake lever, the quicker we're going to stop. But in reality, it's the opposite. So what we need to do is override our natural instincts. But the only way to do this is by repetition through practice, in hopes that when the time comes, our practice will override our natural instincts. Now, in the videos I have listed below, I'll give you some practice tips that you can do. So now I want to share with you a personal story that happened to me while I was riding in West Texas on the River Road. Now, this will demonstrate how practice can override our natural instincts. Now, it was early in the morning, I think around 7:30, and we just started to ride. Now, there were 4 of us, and I was the second bike. Now, as we started to enter into a curve, I got fixated on the bike in front of me for a split second. Now, as I leaned into the curve, I noticed that it was doing this. And it had a slope. So my next thought was, I am going way too fast for this curve. Now, to this day, I can still remember the natural instinct rise up in me to want to reach up and grab that front brake lever to take off speed. I'm telling you, I was this close to grabbing that front brake lever. Then I remember a calm that came over me. I reached up, I squeezed the front brake lever just enough to take off some speed. I looked through the curve where I wanted the motorcycle to go, fighting the urge to look in the oncoming traffic, and I made it through. Now, let me tell you, this bothered me for the entire trip because all I could think about is what if I was an average rider and didn't have all the practice time that I put in. I have no doubt that I would have crashed. I would have either reached up and grabbed the front brake lever, or I would have looked at oncoming traffic and crossed over. Now, the reason I wanted to share this with you is to show that things can happen to any of us at any time. But if we practice enough and keep putting the work in, your chance of overcoming adversity and our natural instincts increases. We've all heard the saying, you play like you practice. Now, many riders think that riding on the street makes you better, but this is how I look at it. When you're riding on the street, you're actually in the game. And for those that play sports, know that game time, or when you're on the field, is where you trust what you've been doing when you're off the field. So miles on the road without practicing off the road does not equal a good rider. It's the work you put in off the road that makes you better. Now, I really hope you got something out of my story and this video. Let me know in the comment section below what you got from it. And until next time, practice, 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 and ride safe.